Hey everyone, welcome back to Strategy Decode. Today, we are breaking down a massive, historic shift at the world's most valuable company. We're decoding what I call Tim Cook's final strategic masterclass. As Cook prepares to hand over the keys to Apple, he isn't just leaving behind a profitable company, he has built a massive gatekeeper moat that completely resets how Apple will dominate the upcoming AI era. Let's decode exactly how this masterclass works. When a massive company changes its leader, it's a big deal. But a leadership transition at this scale isn't just about changing the name on the CEO's door. It's about completely upgrading Apple's internal operating system. Apple is shifting from its old services-first business model to an AI-first future. To do this smoothly, they are using what we call a controlled succession shield, a strategy designed to keep the company incredibly stable while its core technology evolves. On April 20th, 2026, Tim Cook announced he is stepping down as CEO to become the executive chairman, wrapping up an incredible 15-year run where he grew Apple into a $3 trillion powerhouse. To put it simply, Cook is moving from the engine room to the captain's bridge. His final legacy is locking in Apple Intelligence as the company's future, while his new role ensures Apple doesn't lose its massive institutional knowledge while it makes a high-speed pivot into AI. To understand where Apple is going, we have to look at how its leadership has evolved. Think of it in three eras. First, you had Steve Jobs, the visionary, who created the hardware paradigms from scratch. Then came Tim Cook, the manager, who optimized global supply chains and built a massive services empire. And now, enter John Ternus, the builder. Ternus inherits a highly complex, AI-first world, where the physical silicon chips dictate exactly what the software is capable of doing. John Ternus is a silicon integration architect. His leadership emphasizes safeguarding hardware parameters to ensure software performance and prioritizing product execution to secure Apple's hardware moat. So who is John Ternus? He's an engineering leader who successfully managed the historic transition of Macs and iPads over to Apple's own custom chips, Apple Silicon. He understands the hardware deeply. In the age of AI, your hardware dictates how powerful your software can be. By putting an execution-centered engineer in charge, Apple is prioritizing actual product performance over fancy financial engineering. Securing their hardware moat, incoming CEO John Ternus represents a major return to Apple's product-first roots. In the world of tech strategy, there's a key insight here. In the age of AI, the silicon is the software. You simply cannot build a winning, seamless AI experience for a user without controlling the actual transistors on the chip. Ternus brings that exact hardware DNA and AI continuity right to the top slot. But Apple didn't stop there. They made a brilliant strategic move by partnering with Google to integrate the massive Gemini AI model. Think of it as a smart hedge. Apple handles everyday local tasks on your device, but rents Google's massive cloud brain for ultra-complex questions. They built a custom privacy tunnel, so Google never sees who you are. Why spend tens of billions building massive cloud data centers when you can just rent the best ones and focus your money on the device experience? This deal caught Apple up to the competition in less than a year. At the same time, look at what's happening in India. With the opening of their 7th flagship store in May 2026, Apple has officially shifted India from just a factory floor to its primary retail growth engine. Thanks to Cook's China Plus One strategy, India now manufactures 25% of the global iPhone 18 supply. India isn't just about selling phones anymore. It's about de-risking the entire global supply chain so the factory never stops moving, no matter what happens globally. This entire transition is an operational masterpiece, beautifully timed. It started in April with the announcement, moved to May with the Gemini deal and Siri 2.0 previews, and heads into the big June WWDC keynote for Cook's legacy speech. It all culminates in September 2026, when John Ternus officially takes over, just as the new iPhones and iOS 20 launch. This timeline is calculated to hit the massive holiday shopping cycle with absolute leadership stability. Now let's look at the real genius of the business model, the model marketplace. Instead of burning billions of dollars in the high-risk race to train foundational AI models, Apple is completely bypassing that trap. They are letting external AI labs shoulder the staggering energy bills, legal risks, and massive compute costs. Apple is setting up a marketplace embedded right into iOS, where users can swap between ChatGPT, Gemini, or other tools. They are turning frontier AI companies into mere tenants on Apple's property. This is a classic case of distribution dominance over high-burn production. Apple controls the gatekeeper access to the premium consumer, you and me. Because they control the device and digital authentication, they can extract toll booth rent. By avoiding the massive financial trap of training native models, Apple lets others take the risk while they provide the portal. Look at this breakdown. This is pure App Store economics applied to AI. Third-party AI labs bear 100% of the operational and training capital risk. Meanwhile, Apple targets a clean, high-margin premium cut, up to 30%, as a recurring subscription rent on device, with virtually zero incremental cost to Apple. It is an incredibly safe, highly profitable way to win the AI war. The second major pillar of this strategy is silicon sovereignty. Instead of relying entirely on distant, power-hungry cloud data centers, Apple utilizes its localized edge chips, the M-series and A-series processors inside your devices. Their high-performance neural engines process massive prompts locally with lightning speed. This creates a true private context where your sensitive personal workflows never leave your device, creating a massive trust layer that cloud-heavy competitors simply cannot clone. To put the whole masterclass together, look at this strategic matrix. The model marketplace gives Apple platform dominance by extracting rent without the scaling risks. Silicon sovereignty gives them security differentiation via edge processing. The Ternus succession protects their hardware purity by keeping engineering at the center. And finally, the chairman buffer, which we will look at next, gives them a diplomatic shield. This brings us to the ultimate buffer maneuver. Tim Cook's transition to executive chairman on September 1, 2026 is the final masterstroke. By stepping back from day-to-day execution, Cook can focus entirely on high-level global diplomacy, navigating intense antitrust pressures in Washington and Europe, and maintaining mission-critical supply chain security. This completely shields the new CEO, John Ternus, from political and regulatory distractions, so he can focus purely on building great products. As Apple opens up this ecosystem, key players like Dario Amodei at Anthropic are also setting the standard for trust and safety. Models like Claude are positioning themselves as the highly accurate, safe option for enterprise and complex workflows, making them perfect candidates to become premium tenants in Apple's marketplace ecosystem down the line. Tim Cook's final play proves that you don't have to build the loudest AI to win the game. You just have to control the gate that everyone has to walk through. What do you think about John Ternus taking over and Apple's marketplace strategy? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Strategy Decode. See you in the next analysis.